How did Joe Rogan become so powerful? What makes him so powerful? And why should you care about the power that he has? This is Joe Rogan Explained. When most people think of Joe Rogan, they think of him as a comedian, even though he's been doing podcasts for almost 20 years now. It's also true that his stand-up comedy career took off after his podcast became popular. In fact, there are very few clips of him performing stand-up before 2010. So the fact that Joe has built a career talking to people one at a time for hours at a stretch, kind of over the fact that he is actually a pretty talented stand-up comedian. With that said, it's clear that Joe's talents don't end at comedy. The man is just naturally curious about everything and has a real talent for asking the right questions to get interesting stories out of his guests. Not to mention, he has done a great job of surrounding himself with an A-list team of researchers and editors who make the show what it is today. The format of the show is simple. One or two guests sit down with Joe for a conversation that covers whatever topics they choose. Typically, these are interesting people from a variety of different backgrounds. You might have an MMA fighter one day, a comedian the next, a neuroscientist following that, and then maybe an actor. And because the show is almost exclusively conducted with an interview-style format, it's really easy to hop in and out of at any point. This makes the show perfect for streaming services, which is how they ended up with the biggest podcast catalog in the world. It's hard to overstate just how many downloads this show gets. Spotify reportedly paid over $200 million to secure the rights to be the exclusive distributor of the podcast. That's more than $500 million per year. And the show isn't even close to being the most popular one on Spotify. The numbers that they've released so far are only from Q4 of 2020. When they first started their partnership together, they claimed that the podcast had 11 million listeners per episode with over 60 million downloads. But that was only from the last quarter of 2020. Since then, the show has gotten exponentially more popular. If anything, those numbers probably sound low compared to the amount of downloads that they're getting these days. What makes all of this even crazier is the fact that Joe doesn't charge for the podcast. It's completely free. Not like he has a paywall where you have to subscribe in order to listen to the episodes. Anyone can download them for free. It is no wonder that Spotify would be willing to pay hundreds of millions of dollars for exclusive rights to distribute the show. They're getting an insane amount of bang for their buck. And while Spotify has undoubtedly profited greatly by signing Joe to an exclusive deal, it's important to realize that Joe probably got the better end of the deal. After all, he's the one who already had a large built-in audience of over 7 million subscribers on YouTube. By signing with Spotify, Joe was able to take that audience and multiply it exponentially. He could upload episodes to Spotify and have them appear on the top of the charts almost immediately. But if he had tried to do the same thing on Apple Podcasts, it would have taken him years to build up enough followers to get there. Now, some people say that signing with was a mistake because the audio quality of the podcast suffered greatly once they moved over. While there is some truth to this, it's important to remember that Spotify is paying Joe hundreds of millions of dollars per year. We're talking about life-changing money here. It's understandable that the audio quality didn't turn out as good as it was before, considering they had to make some sacrifices in order to get that sweet, sweet Spotify cash. If you want to see just how powerful Joe Rogan is, you need to look beyond just download numbers. Sure, the numbers are impressive, but the real power that he holds comes from the cultural influence that he has. When he talks about something, people tend to gravitate toward it. There is no better example of this than the effect that he had on the world of comedy. Take a look at the careers of some of the comedians who've appeared on the podcast. Before appearing on the show, most of them were relatively unknown in the comedy world. Some of them weren't even trying to be comedians. They were just regular people with interesting stories to tell. But after appearing on the show, they became instant celebrities. Every comedian in the world would kill to get an opportunity like this. And Joe is the gatekeeper of this opportunity. He has the power to launch a comedy career faster than anyone else in the world. And he's done this dozens of times over. By now, everyone knows that Elon Musk will be hosting SNL. But before Joe invited him on the podcast, Elon had never even written a joke for the show. Now he's the host. Talk about a... Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please smash the like button and subscribe for more videos about the secret ways that the world works. Thanks for watching.